live, ECU?
R.
Do you bleed purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
All right, welcome in. It is Hoist the Colors, Friday, August 15th edition of the program. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. As always, the comments are open. So anything you got to say, drop it there. We'll get to it over the course of the next hour. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Download the IBX Media app as well to get our shows, along with the Patrick Johnson Show, Talk with the Town, etc., on the IBX Media app. And it is archived on YouTube and Facebook as well, our show is. We have our normal Friday guest for the first time this season in studio. He is Bobby Harvard. Bobby, welcome back, man. Are you nervous to get back on the mic again, or is it just like yesterday?
No, I'm actually a little nervous this time. Yeah. It's been a while, but yeah, getting back into the swing of things, doing some research this morning. It felt good to be back. It feels good to be able to listen to y'all again through the week. You and Philip continue to kill it, so just glad y'all are back on the air.
Appreciate the kind words. Sup Dogs brings us Bobby's appearance today. Shout out to Sup Dogs, everything they got going on downtown Greenville, Crush Vodka, and everything they do for Pirate Athletics. You guys, as Pirate fans, know the deal with Sup Dogs. All right, we have intern Cecilia hanging out. We got Philip Pilkington producing. Philip, how's it going behind the glass?
It's going amazing. I get to hang out with Bobby. I was excited to hang out with you too. But you and I see each other sporadically throughout the summer.
We already are sick of each other.
I don't know if we're sick of each other. Dang. But
wow.
When we came back Monday, I had seen you at practice. I had seen you at the conference media day. Like, we had hung out some. This is the first time I've seen Bobby in like 2 months. This is great.
I know. I was supposed to have you guys over for the All-Star game. We had talked about that, but unfortunately we still don't have operational bathrooms yet, so that was going to be quite an issue.
So you're using porta potties? Or what's
well, we got one upstairs, but which I will give, again, another shout-out here. Lee Brothers Construction is taking care of us. So it's just been all the back and forth with the insurance stuff is what takes so long. Our adjuster was great, but just the hoops that have to be jumped through is just not ideal, but we're off and rolling now. So once the downstairs bathroom is operational, we'll all get together for another night of some dark liquor and ball games.
How are we feeling about like Week 1 NFL Sunday? Would that be a possibility?
Ooh.
So at somebody's house. It doesn't have to be your house.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued by this. What time do the Broncos play?
They play the Titans at home, so I'm going to guess it's a 4:05, 4:25.
We're at 1.
And Manders are 1 against the Giants, yeah.
There you go. Let's tee it up somewhere.
Let's go.
We'll make it work. We'll see if we can get our wives' approval. Philip, you check with who do you need to check with to get approval from?
Myself. The Panthers schedule to make sure the Panthers aren't at home and they're on the road, so I'm good.
There you go. All right. We could have some things happening here. All right, a couple notes to get to. First off, I do want to explain what we're doing today. So yesterday we did our quarterback over-unders. We're going to do our running back over-unders and also just picks in general because it is a tough position to set over-unders for, as I was going through that with all the unknown at running back. But we'll do that here in a minute. We're also going to have our ACC Atlantic Coast Conference preview. We did SEC. We did the American earlier this week, so we'll have that on today's program. So looking forward to those two things. Also, did y'all see the new NC State football jerseys released this morning?
I can't say what I want to say about them on air, but somebody did make a comment in a group chat that I am in that mentioned it kind of just looks like Wisconsin. So is Russell Wilson just trying to rub off on NC State? Or, he is I always tell our NC State friends Wisconsin is the school he went to because that's where he finished playing, but they don't like hearing that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Wisconsin, Nebraska-esque vibes, like just the whole, like just playing. I will say it looks clean to an extent, but I'm just not a huge fan of red jerseys in general, so I'm a little biased, and I'm not a huge fan. I feel like NC State as the script is kind of unique instead of going Wolfpack, but I don't know. Phil, did you see these? Any thoughts?
I do like the helmets a lot.
Okay.
I think they look good. The dead on, I like the NC State across the chest too. It's the stripes on the shoulders that there's too many different forms of white coming together with the ACC logo, the Adidas logo, the numbers, the script, and the stuff on the shoulders. That's what it is for me. I like the way they look from the back, but yeah, I think get rid of the stuff on the shoulders. I'd be more a fan of it, but the helmets are pretty cool.
The other thing that bothers me about them is just the City of Oaks thing. I mean, I know
I didn't even know that was a thing in Raleigh.
I know. That's what my point is.
Yeah.
Nobody else knows but people that are in Raleigh that it's City of Oaks. So just whatever.
I mean, I will say, like, when your color scheme is just red and white, you're kind of limited as it is. And so I do like the NC State, like when they incorporate the black in their uniforms and some of that stuff. But I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't think it's bad though. Like, I know a lot of people have been hating on it. Also think it's a little ridiculous that Pack Pride was getting crushed by NC State fans for breaking the news 30 minutes before it was released publicly. I don't know if any of y'all seen this, but NC State fans are losing their minds. I'm like, look, it's their job to break news. Blame the NC State people for leaking the uniforms. Also, my guess is the NC State's football department doesn't have the best working relationship with them. Otherwise, they could have coordinated on this. Just as known as somebody in the media who, by the way, has broken uniform news. Was it the black uniforms when Jeff Comfort was here? We were not friends, so we released that ECU was getting black uniforms before the school did, and that didn't go over well. Well, guess what? I didn't have a good relationship with them. If it was this administration, maybe we could work together and coordinate it. So just some behind the scenes there on that sort of stuff.
Yeah, there's got to be some give and take, or you got to do your job. And Corey Smith and the Pack Pride crew did their job.
Not sure how I feel about the acorn, even though it is the City of Oaks. Like, do we really want to roll out there with an acorn on the uniform?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it sounds like an acorn on a jersey looks like something that would be like in a kids' television show, right? You're playing with like I don't know, like SpongeBob or whatever's playing on a baseball league, and the teams that, well, I guess SpongeBob would be going to be some underwater thing. You get my point. I don't know what all the kids' shows are nowadays. I guess Bluey's a thing.
Bluey is a big Paw Patrol.
I guess if Paw Patrol was playing in a baseball league, I could see the acorns or something. It's just like you're a bunch of grown men out there with acorns. What are we doing?
Yeah.
So if NC State wins the opener, they will probably wear these uniforms again. If not, this will be the only time they wear them, right?
Probably. And of course, we won't hear the end of it if NC State wins because we're ragging on them now.
So what do we think ECU should counter with? As far as we know it, no new uniforms this year. We know NC State is going to go all red with the acorn. Should ECU go with the same jersey they wore in the bowl? It's got to be, obviously, white jersey. It's just, you go white pants. You go with the gold pants with the. I'll tell you what, man. The uniform at North Texas last year was sharp. It was the Pirate script helmet, white jersey, gold pant. I think that is to me. That is their best
I
combo.
use that a lot in NCAA football. That's kind of my go-to away uniform when I play with the Pirates. I was gonna say that that exact uniform, but I actually do kind of like the idea of wearing the same uniforms as the bowl game. Maybe that's some bad mojo if you do that, but
it's good mojo, baby. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. For some reason, ECU does not seem to play well in like white jerseys and white pants on the road.
That I was gonna say go all white to counter, but we haven't had good luck in that.
Yeah. They did win at ODU with all white last year, so the white helmet curse is disproven, but I just wanted to put that out there. All right, let's make some picks, gentlemen. ECU running backs. So this room right now is interesting to say the least. You lose Rajay Harris, who was your 1,000-yard back, which, by the way, none of us picked Rajay Harris to have an 1,000-yard season. Bobby had Javius Bond leading the team in rushing last year. Phillip had Marlon Gunn. I had Rajay. So I briefly reviewed. I'm only gonna say the picks I won. I'm not gonna mention the picks I lost.
Well, you had a rough pick'em year, so you got to celebrate your victories.
Exactly. So it's the preseason victories that count. So we got that one, but this year it's kind of wide open. Just to kind of give if you haven't been paying attention all offseason and you're just coming back and you're like, who's going to be running the football this year for the Pirates? there are 3 to 4 main candidates. I'll run them through it real quick before we go into these numbers. Marlon Gunn is your senior. He's your veteran. He's going to be a part of the mix. He's had a healthy preseason. Parker Jenkins transferred in from Houston. He was a starter there in the Big 12, so you know he has talent, was injured last year, has been healthy all this season, or all this preseason, so he's a guy who's going to be in that mix. London Montgomery, second year with the Pirates, former Penn State transfer. The other one to watch, DeJuan Lacey, former JUCO transfer, missed the spring but is back. You also have freshman Eddie Love and redshirt freshman TJ Engelman in that room. So pretty deep room, but those first 3 names are really the ones to watch out for. So team rushing yards per carry. Last season, ECU averaged 4.8 yards per carry. They ran, I think, for over 200 yards in their final 5 or 6 games. So a lot of those numbers were produced then. I'm setting the over-under at 4.5. You lose 3 starting offensive linemen. You lose Rajay. Over-under 4.5 yards per carry on the season for the Pirates. Bobby.
So I did some research once Hauser took over. So that was the final 7 games. I included the Army game, even though that was just a disaster. And since Hauser took over, we were 5.7 yards per carry. Now, you bring up some valid points. We're losing Rajay, replacing, 4 offensive linemen. But I'm still expecting a lot from this offense. I think it's going to be explosive. I'm going to go over.
Philip.
Yeah, I like the over. I think this team's not going to maybe run the ball as often due to them kind of slinging, pushing the ball down the field. But I think that's going to open up some things for some longer breakout runs. And honestly, I would say this group between Parker Jenkins and Montgomery, there's the opportunity, really, in my opinion. There's more home run threats kind of maybe than there was a year ago. Rajay could do it, but Rajay had to have enough room to get up to speed before he really hit it. It wasn't like he was sticking his foot in the ground in the backfield and then getting up to speed like Keaton and some of these guys. So I'm going to go with the over as well.
All right, I'm torn on this one. 4.5 yards per carry. If this team averages over that with the weapons at receiver, I think it's going to be a very special year offensively. I do think this offense can be special, and I'm going to go slightly over as well. I think 4.6, 4.7. If you get into that 4.8, 5 yards per carry range, you're going to be very dangerous offensively. So I think that would be a number JDB would be very happy with, anywhere around 5 yards per carry. So give me the over slightly. But the schedule is tougher this year, by the way, so I think that plays a role as well. And that plays a role in this one. Team rushing yards per game. Last year, ECU averaged 172.4 yards per game. This year, I set the over-under at 168. So a little under, just because I think it's hard to replicate, especially the success they had over the last half of last season. As Bobby mentioned, just some ridiculous rushing totals. Can they do it against a tougher schedule? Bobby, over-under 168 per game.
Yeah, I did ran the numbers for Hauser start on this one too, and it was 212 yards per game. If you remove the Army game where we only rushed for, I think, 89 yards, we were averaging 233.8 yards a game for those last 6 games of the season. Now, you mentioned the tougher competition. I think we're getting close to probably 188 range. 182 is probably what I think we're going to shoot to average, so I'm going to go over.
Pilk.
I'm going to do the under. Like I said, I just think this team's going to throw the football a lot. I just think the run is going to be something to be used off of the pass. Also, part of those things last year, I'm not totally disagreeing with Bobby here, but a lot of those games where Hauser was in, there was a lot of fourth quarter yardage there getting to due to the blowout nature, and hopefully the second half of the season will look like that. But I think early you're going to have to score early, you're going to have to score often, you're going to have to score quickly sometimes, and that's going to lead to just not running the ball as often. So I'm going under.
It was interesting last year. I feel like a lot of these, including the bowl game, a lot of the big rushing totals were tallied, as Philip said, late. Not only in the blowouts, but also, I think the offense just wore down teams. And then, the pass kind of opened up the run, which we saw, when you were on staff with Lincoln and those guys. You would look up at the end of the game and be like, dang, we ran for 180 yards. How did that happen? Well, we were popping big runs in the second half, because they were so geared up to stop the pass. So I'm going to go just over. I think they're around 170, 175 per game. So I'm going to go over rushing yards per game. Will ECU have a 1,000-yard rusher?
No, there's too many horses to feed, so I don't think they hit the 1,000-yard mark. I was surprised Rajay did last year. Really, that NC State game is what put him over, right? If he didn't have that huge game, he wouldn't have hit it either. So, yeah, I don't think we get one.
Yeah, I'm with Bobby on this one. I just don't think they're going to run the ball often enough.
Yeah, to me, I just don't know if there's a number one clear and away back. I do think, and we'll get more to this in our next segment, somebody will emerge, but not sure it'll be a 1,000-yard rusher. Who will lead ECU in rushing yards, Bobby?
Yeah, this one, I'm torn between two guys, but I feel like, and this is, again, not out there, and I know you're out there a limited amount this year compared to years past, but I just think London Montgomery is going to be the guy. I think they started to trust him more as the season went on, and it seems like he's had a pretty good offseason. So I know Parker Jenkins was the other one I was considering, but I'm going to give the edge to Montgomery.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of go with the hot take here and go Parker Jenkins. I think he is the most versatile back out of the three. Gunn's a little more between the tackles. Montgomery's a little more outside, and I just think that he can do both. Maybe he doesn't have an area of expertise like the other two, but I believe in well-roundedness, and I think that's going to lift him ahead of the other two.
I'm going to go London Montgomery just ahead of Jenkins. I think he's got a little bit more explosiveness, although I do think Jenkins has the better all-around upside as a full feature back. Who will lead ECU in rushing touchdowns? This is another tough one because it may not be your leading rusher, Bobby.
Yeah, I'm going to go Jenkins on this one, to be different than Montgomery, but also I think Jenkins is a little bit heavier, so when they get down into the red zone, he's probably a guy you can rely on to tote the rock.
I think Gunn's going to be the guy they feature inside the 5. I think it's going to be our short yardage guy. I think he's going to pick up the most first downs because he's going to be the 3rd and 2 guy. I think he's going to be the 3rd and goal guy as well.
Rushing touchdowns, give me Marlon Gunn. I think I don't see he was the guy that used in those goal line packages last year, so I think if you get in those situations enough, that'll be your guy again with no Rajay there. But Jenkins is a good pick. I did have the Marlon Gunn rushing touchdowns prop set at 4.5. He had no rushing touchdowns in his career going into last year, guys. He had 3 last year. I'm setting the over-under at 4.5 for this season. Over-under, Bob.
I'm going to go under. As much as I want to see him dance in the end zone because he has
some awesome dance.
Yes. I'm going to go under.
I say he has 6.
I'm going to go over as well. I'm going to say 5-6, Marlon Gunn. If we're picking him to lead the team, he better have more than 4.5. So I do think Mike Wright, by the way, could be up here too, but he is not a running back. ECU running back total receptions. So this is a tough one. ECU only had 22 running back receptions last year. Rajay had 15, Marlon had 5, and London Montgomery had 2. So 22.5, I set the over or the total at. Over under running back receptions. This doesn't feel like an offense that features the running back catching the ball a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to receptions 22 last year. I do think they feel a little bit more confident maybe throwing the ball because Jenkins caught the ball some at Houston too.
Yeah.
And Montgomery had 5. Yeah. I'm going to go over. I think they're going to utilize them a little bit more.
Didn't see many screens last year.
No. I'm thinking more swing passes or maybe even the kind of cheating pass play where you just toss on the jet and it still counts as a completion.
I'm going to go under because I think that's going to happen, but I think Jaquez Petaway is going to be the guy that receives those. Yeah. Also, in this offense, I think the tight ends are going to be have more check down receptions than running backs. So I think we probably average 1.5 receptions per game between out of the running back room.
Give me the slight over here. I'll go 23. They beat last year's number by 1. Final prop here. ECU running back to receive a carry. Now, you might call me crazy. I'm setting the over-under at 5.5. Just 3 running backs had carries last season, which is ridiculous. That never happens. So I think it'll definitely be at least 4 this year. I think they feel good. They're going like 6, 7 deep in the room. So 5.5 is what I set the total at. ECU running backs to receive a single carry. Bobby.
I'm going to go under. If Mike Wright was considered a running back, I would go over. But my 5 I got Montgomery, Jenkins, Gunn, Engelman, and Lacey. I don't know if they're going to feed any of the walk-ons or Love if they're trying to redshirt him. So I think the late game situations go to Engelman and go to Lacey.
Yeah, I'm going to echo that. I mean, I think they wouldn't have a problem under the new rules playing Love where he can play 4 games, but just because there are 5 other guys ahead of him and TJ Engelman didn't get to carry the ball all year ago, I think he and Lacey will just kind of, hog those carries late in the game. So I'm with Bobby. That'll be exactly 5 guys, so under.
Give me the over here. That's why I said it high. I'm going to go with, obviously, Jenkins, Gunn, Montgomery. I think Lacey gets a carry. I think Engelman will get a carry at some point. Also, Josh Benton is going to play a lot of special teams, so I think he travels and at some point gets into a game. The walk-on could get a carry. And it wouldn't shock me if Eddie Love gets a carry just in a blowout as a freshman because they like him. So I wouldn't rule out 7. Do I think it's going to happen? No, but I'm going 6. I'm going over ECU running backs who receive a carry. All right, let's get a break in. We're running a little bit behind, so we'll get a break in. We'll recap any comments that we got, and we will transition to our ACC preview on the other side. This is Hoist the Colors on a Friday.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout Eastern North Carolina. Get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arg!
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Allen, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Remember, get the podcast of the show on the IBX Media app or where you get your podcasts.
Got it. You don't have to tell me twice. I remember it exactly.
Stephen Igo and Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors on a Friday. Got a couple comments to get to. Bobby Harvard's with us. His first Friday appearance of the year. Shout out to Sup Dogs for supporting the show and bringing in Bobby, as you can check him out. 213 East 5th Street over by the Stop Shop, which you can sometimes find my brother, Scott Igo, in that very area. But Sup Dogs, multiple-time Barstool Best Bar winner. Great spot to watch games, hang out. Also, Crush Vodka, a happening spot as well. So appreciate their support of the program just about each and every Friday when Bobby makes an appearance. All right. Couple questions here. What we may do is take a short segment here answering these questions, Philip, and then break and come back and go long ACC segment. We got Ryan who wants to know, will a defensive tackle get a rushing touchdown this year? They have those packages in. Do y'all think We see a J.D. Lampley or Zion Wilson touchdown run. Maybe a touchdown catch.
I was going to say maybe a catch. J.D. Lampley catches one in the flats.
I'm with you. I think he's going to catch one from Mike Wright.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love that.
Because they're going to throw when they throw that big package out there. This is no inside information here, so I haven't seen it in practice because they don't want us to see trick plays.
Definitely, he's been serious.
Yeah, but I think if they're going to put all those guys on the field, they want the threat of Mike Wright on the field too. Throw a little bit different looking quarterback out there with some D linemen, and the opponent's not going to know what the heck to do.
I think we see it because last year J.D. Lampley was open against FAU, but they threw it to Javante Connor, the tight end. So I think we see a touchdown catch from a defensive lineman this year. All right, Braxton from Carolina Curveball says, "What's up, fellas? Hope y'all are well. Sell me on ECU over 6.5 wins this season. I am tempted." So if I had to pick the over-under today, I would say over. But the front of the schedule worries me. I mean, you look at it, and I'll get y'all's take on this as well. You know, if you just look at it, all right, Campbell should be a win. Coastal should be a win, although I would classify it as a game that's not going to be easy. Tulsa should be a win. Temple should be a win. Charlotte, dare I say, should be a win. And FAU, while tough on paper, I would say could be a win. So that 6 games I think you'll at least be favored in.
Now you got to either beat Memphis at home or Army at home.
Yeah.
To me, it's Army at home. I mentioned this at the end of last year's shows, but to me, getting them earlier in the first half of the season, having them at home. Now, the short week sucks from a defensive perspective, but they are traveling on a short week. The other part, that offense, the quarterback is the one that has that engine running. Like, he's the one that gets that offense going. And they're still going to be breaking in a new quarterback. And to me, that guy they had last year was a dude.
Absolutely.
Was a freaking tank at quarterback. And I just don't see how they can replicate it. Not going to say it's not going to be a nail-biting game and a tough, hard-fought battle, but because Jeff Monken coach teams are. But I think I like the Pirates in that one.
And even if let's say you win one, you theoretically shouldn't. And you lose one, you shouldn't. I mean, you still just need to winning at NC State is not impossible, as we just saw. Winning against BYU at home, to me, while you're going to be a dog, is not impossible. Winning at Tulane, not impossible. Beating Memphis at home. ECU's beaten Memphis twice in a row.
I don't trust Ryan Silverfield to win that game.
Yep, I was just going to say that. Yeah.
That's your 7 wins right there. Even if you lose to Army, you lose to Tulane, you lose UTSA. Now, I'm not saying we can't win those games, but for the point of he said convince him to win 7, I don't trust Ryan Silverfield, plain and simple.
And I'll add the one game I'm confident in us losing, if you want to go the other way, at UTSA.
Yep.
I am as well. Like, if I honestly, and I wrote this the other day, I ranked ECU's opponents yesterday, and like UTSA I had 5th with the stipulation that I'm just ranking the opponents, not ranking the game. If I had to rank like the game, like at UTSA, it terrifies me because I know how good they are.
Mm-hmm. And late in the year.
Yep. Yeah, that might honestly be
one.
Like
I think ECU's got a better shot to win at NC State and against BYU than at UTSA. Call me crazy.
No, 100% agree.
You're not crazy because BYU still need to figure out their quarterback situation. All the pressure's on State to win this game, man. Yep. There is no pressure on East Carolina to win this game. I know some people are going to disagree with me, but Blake Harrell ain't getting fired Friday morning if they lose. But Dave Doran could. People are not going to burn Greenville to the ground if East Carolina loses after just beating them in a bowl game. But Raleigh could get burned to the ground. So I think all the pressure's on them. BYU quarterback situation. Tulane,
I've heard their quarterbacks do not look good.
Yeah, Tulane. I think Retzloff's going to be the best player in the conference, but quarterback situation still. Are there too many guys fighting for the job, and they're too worried about beating each other out to actually study film? Who knows?
I will say, if ECU beats NC State in the opener, it'll change the whole complexion of how I feel about this season.
Well, and the thing that helps if you win that game, too, is it's not like you're going at Coastal or playing BYU after for a letdown game. You have a manageable opponent in Campbell, regardless. I mean, you want to come out and smoke them, but regardless how you play.
A letdown
yes,
and still win.
Exactly.
So, a lot riding on the first game for ECU and NC State, but certainly it feels like all the pressure is on NC State, and it is. All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll talk about NC State in the ACC. What are their chances of competing for anything this year? Dave Doran on the hot seat. Also look at the ACC as a whole. We'll make some picks. Best conference game, dark horse, title contender, all that good stuff on the other side. This is Hoist the Colors.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you farm to fork beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to fork beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
For over 51 years, Parker's Barbecue has brought families together with our award-winning whole hog barbecue and fried chicken. Tradition is important at Parker's Barbecue, and for 3 generations, the Parker's way has stood the test of time. Whether you visit our dining rooms or drive-thrus, use our on-site catering, or even use our nationwide shipping, the hospitality, barbecue, fried chicken, homemade sides are still the same.
We are the Parker family. Come in and let our family show you. This is the Parker's way.
We're live with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Hoist the Johnny Roger!
Now, back to Hoist the Colors.
All right, welcome in. Welcome back in, Hoist the Colors. We'll get to our ACC preview in a minute. Cameron says, has it been announced how much our rev share is going to go to football compared to basketball? UNC just announced 65% to football and 35% to basketball. Seems tough. I would think at least 70% goes to football. Yeah, I don't know. Those numbers are right now at ECU are not being made public, Cameron. I would assume ECU is at least at 70 to 75% football, but I have not been told. John Gilbert wants to keep those numbers in-house for now.
That UNC is playing with a different deck of cards in the sense that they have the $20.5 million to spread around rather than what, the $4 million or so that we have.
Yeah, or around there. And I mean, basketball, obviously, you got to.
Yeah.
You know, if people there expect to win national championships, you got to give more than what everybody else is giving.
Because I think I saw football will be getting around $13 million of that, and then basketball is like $7 million or something. So yeah, that's wild to think about those numbers.
All right, ACC preview 2025. Here is kind of some of the storylines. We'll get into our picks here in a minute. Clemson is the favorite, to no surprise. They won it last year in a down year, defeating SMU in the championship game. SMU projected to be good once again. They're mostly seen as the third best team to win the title behind Miami and Clemson. Louisville considered a potential breakout candidate, had a good year last year as well. Can they contend for a championship? Those are kind of your top-level teams. Then you have really a second tier of, it's kind of all over the place, but really there's a stark drop-off, steep drop-off, I should say. It's almost like the second tier is the rest of the tier, and then you got Stanford. It's kind of how I would classify it. I don't know. Like, am I
Poor
wrong
Frank
on any
Reich.
of that?
I mean, I would think Florida State is closer.
Are we buying Florida State?
I'm not totally buying it, but I would say they're closer to Louisville and Georgia Tech than they are like Wake Forest, right? Like they might be on an island, or maybe them and Duke are kind of on an island together. Like Duke's not bad. I mean, I would definitely think those teams would be favored over teams like Wake Forest, a couple of the others. I mean, State's not terrible either, I don't think.
I just, NC State's coordinator hires worry me. And I do think there is a whole lot to the notion that Dave Doran is at his best, when he is really off the radar, which he is right now. But, the best they could do was hire DJ Elliott, who was last in college football at Temple in 22. I think his last game, he gave up 56 points to Holton Ahlers and the Pirates, and that staff got fired. So, Kurt Roper as your OC, the best you can do. He is last minute OC at 27 in 2017. That concerns me, man, if I'm an NC State fan. Georgia Tech, I like as I guess you can call him a sleeper with King coming back at quarterback. I think I'm out on Brent Pry at Virginia Tech. I think that is going to end here shortly. I do like Duke. Pittsburgh, they start, 7-0 last year, lose their final 6. Boston College, I don't know what to expect. A lot of people are buying the Virginia hype. They have cleaned up in the portal, I will say that. But, do we trust Virginia to go out and win football games? There's just a lot of, I don't know, not sexy stuff going on in the ACC.
Yeah, I don't trust Tony Elliott quite yet. They were improved last year.
Yeah.
I think, what were they, 5-7 is what they finished?
I believe so, yes.
But, so they're improved. And to your point about NC State and the coordinator hires, DJ Elliott wasn't great at Kentucky either. And just kind of adding to that, to me, it's going to, for them to be successful, is how big of a jump does C.J. Bailey make?
It's all about Bailey. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, it's that quarterback there because
he's a great talent.
Right. But to your point, Roper was at Duke before, and Philip, I know you know this, and then he was at South Carolina when we went down there and played South Carolina. I want to say he was at Florida because I think we crossed paths with them too. There was a GA that I had known at Duke that would talk to at South Carolina and Florida when we both played him because he kind of followed Roper around. But, yeah, I don't love that. The one that intrigues me, too, we hadn't talked about it much, is Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Because they started off the year hot and then fell off a cliff. Now, part of that was, I think they started, 7-0 and then lost 5 in a row?
Their schedule was pretty backloaded.
And their quarterback comes back. And that defense under Pat Narduzzi is always pretty solid. So I'm curious, depending how their schedule lines up, I haven't done a deep dive into that. They're an intriguing team as well.
So, Philip, how you feeling about Duke under Manny Diaz? They get Darion Menzo, the big deal, which, he was good at Tulane, but I don't know if he was worth $4 million a year. But still.
He's better than Malik Murphy.
Yeah. They're going to have a good defense, too. So how you feeling about the Blue Jays?
I think they're going to be solid, right? It's going to be one of those where if they can take care of the games they should take care of, there are some meh teams in this conference. But then also there are a lot of teams in this conference, like you guys mentioned, with, Virginia and, Pitt. And
just a lot of mid.
Yeah, it's how good are they going to be? You don't really know. So, Duke should win 6 to 7 games. I don't think they're sweating making a bowl game exactly, but do I think this is going to be Anthony Boone, Duke, winning 10 games? No, of course not.
All right, Casey and Romeli says Georgia Tech major dark horse Haynes King is a dog. He also says FSU will be awful. Castellanos is horrible, and he's 5'7". Yeah, I don't know. I think Florida State is either really good or really bad, and I lean more towards the bad. You just have these programs that spend a lot of money to try to fix things, and if you get off to a bad start, it can go bad quickly because the locker room, at that point, everybody's got their checks and they're just out for themselves.
Especially at a place like that, and we saw that last year.
Exactly.
Surely they can't be as bad as they were last year.
You would think so, but
God, dog, they were awful.
I think Rose could have beat them last year.
Yeah, they were pretty bad. And at the time, was it Georgia Tech that beat him in that Berlin game? It seemed like such a big deal.
Yeah.
Maryland.
Ireland, yeah.
Yeah, Ireland, yeah. Get all these international games, can't keep track of them. All right, let's make some picks. We'll talk more storylines if we have time at the end. All right, last place team. I mean, is anybody not picking Stanford here?
No.
No, for the sake of being different, I'll add Wake Forest in there just because they're replacing so much and have a new head coach. But, I mean, the Frank Reich train is and Andrew Luck train.
And he's just a one-year coach, right? Like, they're just hiring him.
He's an interim.
Yeah.
Because they fired their coach in the spring. I guess if they have a good season, they can retain him. But how do you just up and fire your coach in the spring? It's tough.
They're going to lose at Hawaii, I've seen people say.
Yeah, so they're dogs at Hawaii. This is their schedule: at Hawaii, at BYU, Boston College at home. It's a winnable game. At Virginia, San Jose State at home. San Jose State is actually good. Shout-outs Niamatalolo. At SMU versus Florida State. At Miami versus Pitt. At UNC versus Cal. And then Notre Dame. I mean, they might win 2 games.
They didn't just schedule an FCS opponent. They might go 0-12.
Yeah.
They might be flirting with Akron down there in the toilet bowl.
So Stanford, our last place team in the ACC, which is just weird to say in general. Kaysen continues his hot takes. He says Virginia Tech will be coached by John Gruden next year. Keep him coming, Kaysen. Best conference game. What you guys got?
I got Friday, November 14th in Louisville, Kentucky. The Clemson Tigers come to town. So I think Louisville is going to be pretty good.
They beat the crap out of them last year in Death Valley. Louisville did.
And Clemson is like the team in the ACC. Louisville, Kentucky on a Friday night is going to be rowdy. I think it's going to be an awesome game.
Philip?
I'm going to go November 1st, SMU hosting Miami for homecoming. They are going to put a game they could possibly lose in homecoming, and this could be for that second spot in the conference championship game. So I like that one.
I also had the Louisville-Clemson game, so I'm trying to pick one on the fly here. I'm going to go Miami against Louisville, Friday, October 7th. A lot of Friday games in the ACC. So I'm going to go early season, Miami hosting Louisville inside Hard Rock Stadium. If Miami's good, it can be a fun home atmosphere. If they're mid or not good, it's not very fun. They have the most front-running fan base in America, but that could be a fun one. Feels like Louisville-Miami football just creates some fun matchups as well over their history together. So that is my pick for best conference game along with Clemson and Louisville on the November 14th, which is also a Friday. Dark horse title contender. We just named all the mid teams in the conference. No mention of a certain team up the road and his girlfriend yet. We'll see if that comes up here. Dark horse title contender, who you got, buddy?
So Philip's not going to like this, but I have the Duke Blue Devils as the dark horse. Reason being, quarterback play and offensive, in turn, the offense should be vastly improved. They beat SMU last year if they have a quarterback, and that defense is freaking legit, and they're returning a lot of production off that defense. Looking at their ACC schedule, not too daunting. You got Georgia Tech at home. You're at Clemson. That's the tough one, and at UNC, which is a winnable game. Everybody else, they should be no doubt favored in. So I'm going to go Blue Devils here.
I like the pick.
Dang it! Now they're going to win 2 games. You jinxed them. Dang it, Bobby.
I'm sorry.
I know. All right. Well, I'm going to pick another blue team from the Triangle. No one gets stoned for this, but look, they play Clemson, and then they really don't play anybody else. So they host a maybe smidge above average Duke team. It wouldn't be crazy if the Tar Heels go 7-1. I mean, how do you fully pick against a guy with 7 Super Bowl rings? So, I mean, if they're going to be 8th in the preseason poll, that's enough of a dark horse for me. I'm going with Tar Heels.
So North Carolina, I'm looking at the schedule now. You know, the TCU game, I saw they were underdogs in this. I think I'm taking UNC money line there. It just feels so boom or bust. Like at UCF, if they're bad, I could see them losing that game as well, but UCF's not projected to be very good. At Cal is like, I mean, Cal's not going to be good. Ron Rivera is doing whatever. What's going on with these West Coast teams, man? You got Andrew Luck and Ron Rivera just meddling. Anyways, Virginia, we'll talk about them. At Syracuse, at State, they can't beat State. So will that finally happen? I don't know. It's not a bad pick, though, because all the games are winnable. They avoid some tough ACC games like Miami and SMU. All right, I'm going Georgia Tech. I just think, Haynes King is a dog, as Kaysen said. My concern with Haynes King is, can he stay healthy? Because he does not know how to protect himself. They play Clemson in their ACC opener on Saturday, September 13th. That'll be a fun matchup. They get Virginia Tech at home. They do have to go to State, go to Duke, but it's a pretty manageable ACC slate. So I'm going to go Georgia Tech, especially if they can pull an upset in that Clemson game at home. They would be sitting in a spot to make a title run. And I think Brent Key's just done a good job of winning the games he should win. Now he's just got to avoid the games he shouldn't lose. Conference most valuable player, Bobby.
I'm not going to go Cade Klubnik because I want to be different. I tossed around the idea of Isaac Brown, the Louisville running back, but I'm going to go Haynes King because you will see later in my championship game pick why. I think he has to be the MVP for this to happen.
Like where your head's at, Bobby, but I think they're going to have a breakout running game, so I'm going to go Jamal Haynes, the running back, that will be lining up next to Haynes King and maybe previewing. You'll understand why more when I get to my championship game pick.
Y'all both have Georgia Tech in the championship, and I've
yes,
got them at the dark horse. They are 100% going to have an awful year as a result of all this. I'm going Cade Klubnik. Look, I don't love this pick. I don't love Cade Klubnik as I watch him play. It's just doesn't seem natural at times when he's throwing the football, but you can't deny the talent. And you can't deny the fact that Clemson is loaded. So,
well, and the other factor for me, I'm not a believer in Miami, and I'm not a believer in SMU. So I avoided either. Yeah, exactly.
So it's not great. You can make the argument maybe for Jennings. I'm definitely not going to pick Beck as my conference MVP. He's going to have to go prove that he can do that after last season at Georgia. All right, championship game. Sounds like y'all got some fun. The rambling wreck of Georgia Tech in the championship. So let's hear the championship game.
Yep. First, the Tigers of Clemson.
Okay. Who you got, Philip?
Yeah, Tigers of Clemson. And that's the reason why I didn't pick Georgia Tech as a dark horse, because they're going to the championship game. They're going to lose to Clemson, and then they're not going to lose an ACC game again. Their next loss after Clemson will be Georgia in the final game of the season. And they'll probably do it in heartbreaking fashion like they did last year. But that won't affect their conference standings. So, yeah, man. I mean, Georgia Tech, how are they a dark horse when they're 100% going championship game? I mean, come on, Igo. Pick a better dark horse.
Don't even get me started. I have Clemson, Miami. As much as I hate it, I hate going chalk. And I hate trusting the Miami Hurricanes because it always feels like they are supposed to win the ACC or get there, and they never do. And this year they're going to get there and they're going to lose because Clemson will be a top 4 seed in the college football playoff as the ACC champion. Bobby?
I have Clemson losing in Atlanta.
Wow.
September 13th, because that's early enough. Clemson's then going to rebound. That's a game Georgia Tech wins at home. It's a Brent Key game that he wins. And because of that, Clemson then flips the script and wins the ACC championship.
Yeah, like I said, I don't have that happening, but I do have Clemson winning the. Like I said, they're going to lose. Georgia Tech will lose at home, and they won't lose again until they take on the Dogs, and then they'll lose the following week against Clemson in the championship.
Sidebar: I think it is incredibly stupid that Georgia Tech and Georgia, which is always an on-campus game, is now being moved to the Falcon Stadium.
Is it really?
Yep.
That's dumb. What are we going to move the Iron Bowl to Birmingham next or something?
Why do we
stupid?
keep doing this? Like, why not just leave it where it's
Greed.
Yeah,
that's why.
They can make more money, and now it's just going to.
It's not fair to the students.
This is supposed to be a Georgia Tech home game, by the way. You know what's going to happen? It's going to be all Georgia fans.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and then I feel bad for the seniors.
Yeah.
When they were went to school, they're like, yeah, man, my sophomore and senior year, last games going to be against Georgia, and sure enough, I mean, it is 5 minutes down the road, but still, that's crap.
It should be on campus, man. I'm not a fan of this, but it is what it is. All right, let's get our final break in. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show with any more storylines from the ACC that we missed. This is Hoist the Colors.
Turn your car into cash at Greenville Toyota. Cash in your trade-in today. Then get new Camry just $249 a month. Or drive a new RAV4, $319 a month. At Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose, We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt & Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's cut in color. And let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors, with locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow-cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Cash in your trade-in at Greenville Toyota. Get a huge offer when you trade. Then save big on a brand new Corolla, just $229 a month. Or get a Tacoma, just $319 a month. Secure your Toyota now at Greenville Toyota.
Climb aboard as we set sail and hoist the colors.
Ahar, matey!
Back to the show with Steve and Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors. Final segment here. Do we need to address any more ACC items? Bobby Harvard's with us. Philip Hilkinen behind the glass. Intern Cecilia hanging out. Like, usually I've said that I feel like we need multiple segments for these conferences. I almost feel like the ACC is just kind of, we're good. I don't like it. I will say, if there's one non-conference ACC game I'm most intrigued by, it is Virginia Tech against Vanderbilt in week 2. I think, like, it's in Blacksburg. It's Virginia Tech. If they're going to have any hope of success, they've got to win that game.
And I think that's both ways. Yeah, I think for Vanderbilt too. Yeah.
See, one of those, the winner probably finds a way to make a bowl game, and the loser does not. But does that really make it a big game? Because the winner finds a way to go 6-6. Big whoop.
Yeah.
I'm just playing devil's advocate at you.
Brent Pry. It's now or never.
My question is, because it is the ACC, when do you show Notre Dame love? Because Notre Dame's technically independent for football, but ACC everything else.
Should we just have a Notre Dame segment?
A Notre Dame day.
No, we can have a FBS independent segment. Jim Mora has turned the UConn Huskies around, baby. We got to talk about the Huskies. We're going to talk about the Irish. We're going to talk about the Minutemen. It's going to be a great segment.
Who wouldn't want to talk about the Minutemen? That's my...
Nothing gets me going like UMass football, baby. We have a question from our fella, Lane Smith. By the way, Casey O'Malley says the guys know ball. As he was mentioning, Manny Diaz and the Devils is his dark horse pick. And he said Clemson, Georgia Tech, his game of the season. All right, Lane Smith, though, says, if you had to pick the NC State game today, what would you say? What would you say? What would you guys say? Because I don't know what
I would say Wolfpack right now.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's not like an obvious Wolfpack, which is kind of what I felt like going into the bowl game. because there's so much unknown with our defense. I think our offense, we've mentioned this before, is going to be much improved. The other thing is going to be that gives – I'm torn with NC State because of the coordinator hires, but also at the same time they are going to be more talented across the board. So that's kind of my holdback there with not picking the Pirates.
They've got more money. They've got rev share, all that.
It'll be close for a while. My whole time here since I got to ECU, close to Virginia Tech lost, close to South Carolina lost, close to NC State lost early in the season. So it's going to be close, and we're going to miss a kick or something stupid.
If you could roll into this game with Caden Hauser or C.J. Bailey as your quarterback, who would you pick?
Caden.
Yeah, I'd probably say Caden as
well.
well.
Right now. I think C.J.'s probably the bigger upside, but I trust Caden.
I think I would take Caden, and I think I would take ECU's coordinators. But the difference is NC State's got a home field advantage, and they have talent across the board.
Right. The fronts, up front, especially they're a team. Dave Doran likes to run the football. So how is our defense going to hold up in the run? Big question.
Plays always comes down to that and turnovers. ECU's going to have to hit some, and I think ECU can't afford to give up any. All right, we're out of time. Bobby, this was fun, man. Good to have you back.
Absolutely.
Phillip, shout out to you for doing a great job as well. Kaysen says he wants to call in for a Notre Dame hate segment, join the conference. We can get that done as well. We'll be back Monday, 12 noon. We may have Mike Schwartz, ECU basketball coach. We'll keep you updated there. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for listening.